Good morning, everybody. Today we canned ground thyme mustard. I used brown mustard seed and the yellow mustard seed. It has apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, has a little bit of salt and water added into it. You can do as an option, add some of the dry powdered mustard into it. That will give it a more spicier overall taste to it. You want to let this mustard set for 2 to 4 weeks after you get through canning it to let it mellow out some. If you like it spicier, open it at the 2 weeks versus the 4 weeks. With it today, I used Denali canning lids. I love these lids. I've had 100% seal rate with them. I started using them last summer and I really highly recommend them. I use their inserts and I use the rings for them too. I hope you all enjoy this video. Leave comments below if you have canned mustard, if you have done something differently than what I did, or what types of mustard you have made. And just as a disclosure, the Ball book recommends 1/4 inch headspace on this. I tried it at that, blew off the inserts and the ring on 2 out of 4 jars when I was doing it. I tried a 1/2 inch space, did the same thing, 2 out of the 4 jars, blew off. I did a 1 inch headspace this time. I had 6 jars, 100% seal rate, and as you can tell, it is up to the top. And isn't that a gorgeous color on it? I hope you all will give this a try and let me know in the comments. So the night before, you want to mix your mustard seeds, your water, the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and the salt in a mason jar or in a bowl, glass bowl. Let it soak overnight. So what I have got is a 1/2 cup of the brown mustard, and there's a 1/2 cup of the yellow mustard underneath. I'm gonna pour that in. Got to be gentle here. I have got
2/3 cup of the water, not 3/4.
1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and I went ahead and put the water in this also. It is 3/4 cup of water, and then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. The recipe called for sea salt. I have got the pink salt from Redmond's. It is from the Great Salt Lake, so we're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. I'm going to give it a good stir here. Let that salt dissolve. Can you guys see how pretty those mustard seeds are? And then tomorrow morning, we will put this in the blender, blend it up, it'll thicken it up. You will still have some little bits where you can see the mustard seeds in with it, and then we'll get it canned up in the canner. It is 10 minutes in a water bath canner, and we are going to add a little bit of thyme to it. I'm going to use dried thyme because I don't have any fresh thyme, so we're going to have a grainy thyme mustard. So I will be back in the morning. Oh, and this is what the seeds look like in the jars. I guess I already set my other one down, my dark brown down, but this is the yellow mustard. It's off of Amazon. I can leave a link for you down in the description. This is, my lid's not on there straight, is my purple barley. Purple barley. And next to that is black lentils, which is for a totally different dish. So I will see you guys back in the morning. Okay, so it's the next day, and I am going to pour my mustard seed mixture in here. Isn't that pretty? Those colors, and look how much they've expanded up into the apple cider vinegar and water. Going to pour it into here, and I want to make mine a little bit more on the thinner side, so I did get out some extra vinegar, and I'm just going to put it, I poured some into the jar. We'll just give it a good shake. Sorry if I made anybody dizzy, and pour it in there. It was like maybe a 1/4 cup that I put in. So let's get the lid back on it. It's gonna be a little noisy, and the noise in the background is pumpkin playing with a tea light holder. So, or the little plastic cup that they come in. Okay, so let's just start giving it a pulse. Is to get it thicker and to help break up some of the mustard seeds, and actually that looks like a pretty good consistency. Like I said, I do like mine on the thinner side to it. Just grab a spoon here, and I will actually add a little bit more of the apple cider vinegar. You don't want to add any water to this because it will change the pH balance on it. See how it thickened up fairly quickly. So let's get it over here and we will get it in the pan. Okay, so we're going to get the mustard mixture into the pan here. We want to heat it up because the jars will be hot, which they're in the canner heating up right now, and we want the mustard to be hot also. I am going to do steam bath canning today. I usually do the regular water bath canning, but because I hurt my back and I'm really not lifting very much, I can handle the steam bath canner, which, you know what, let me give you a quick look inside. I've got the jars in there heating up, and the water is just right above the rack. The rack is flipped upside down. It's the one that came with it. And steam bath is, I'm going to leave these in for 20 minutes. They are the 8-ounce jars. Let me turn this back this way just a little bit here so I get a better view of this. They are the 8-ounce jars, and I'm going to give it that little extra time, just because I'd rather do a little bit too much than not have it enough. Let me pour just a bit of my apple vinegar into this. So I'm going to be putting at least an extra half a cup in. Just swish it around here. I'll help get it off the blades. And you know what? I'm actually going to go turn this on and run it. I'll be right back. This did get quite a bit of it back into it. And I am going to put this on my back burner to heat up. That way I can use the front part to put the jars on. Trying to get every little bit out, considering how expensive things are these days. And I do cook quite a bit with mustard, especially in the meats or the greens. But usually it's like a dry mustard that I put in. And you can actually put a dry mustard in this if you wanted to. Let's see how my jars are doing there. Still have a little ways to go. So I'm just going to get this mixed up here. I'm going to put my thyme in it. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of thyme. And I'm going to wait until it's closer to the jars being heated up before I heat this up. Mustard, you want to be careful because once it really gets hot, it bubbles like a volcano does, and that can really burn, and it gets all over the place. And I know this from a fact, so from experience. So please learn from my error in doing that. I didn't get burnt by it, but it did go all over the place. And it can also scorch the bottom of the pan or stick to it whenever you're working, especially with the mustard seed. I guess regular mustard, like Dijon mustard, isn't as bad. I haven't made Dijon mustard, which I want to do that one also because I do use that in like my chicken salad and tuna salad and things. So I'll bring you guys back in just a minute. I have my mustard on heating up, and what I'm going to add is 1 teaspoon of thyme. I did put about a teaspoon in whenever I was soaking the mustard seeds overnight. And then I'm putting in the second, just so it's got like some of the, rather than the leaves being pulverized by the food processor, it's going to have some that are going to be kind of whole in it. Ooh, I lost for words there. So my jars are heating up. I've got everything. I've got my extra vinegar with me, which, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to put in a jar and heat them up too. I've got my lids that I am going to just pour some hot water over. You know, I'm going to heat it up in a coffee cup here. And that way I'm not pouring hot or cold into the hot mustard on it. So I've got right about a cup left there. So I'll get this going and then be back. So the jars are hot. I'm going to take the lid off of it. That is hot steam. We're going to do that. And I'm going to get the jars out. The mustard is hot. I should be able to get maybe 4, maybe even 5 out of this. If I have like a partial jar, I can either put it into the refrigerator. Oh, it looks like I had 6 jars in there. I can either put it in the refrigerator and use it up, or I may add even some more extra vinegar to it to get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Whoops. There we go. And stir it up. That was hot vinegar that I put in there, because I do like mine a little bit more on the runny side than on the thick side to it. And if I wanted to, whenever I open up a jar of it, I can always take it out and microwave it, cook it a little bit, let it thicken up. You could add a little bit of cornstarch to it after you open the jar. You do not want to cook with cornstarch in it. You can. The only approved thing I believe that is for canning is clear gel. Get that going, and I am going to put my lid on. Now, I love these pans. These are the old Revereware. I've had them for like 25-30 years. They have got the pour lip on it. So whenever you have got a liquid, and I'm going to leave about maybe an inch headspace, because this will expand. This goes so much easier. You know, if you're doing big batch, you can't do this, but, well, you could put it, whoops, I think I got too much in that one. You could put it in it and then pour it rather than using a scoop for some things. If it's a big chunky thing, not going to work. And you know what? I think I might have enough left for that 6 thing here. Here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. Okay, I am just shy. Now, something else I can do is where I've added in the extra apple cider. If the taste isn't mustardy enough for me whenever I go to open the jar, you can always add in the powdered mustard or dry mustard to it. You can also grind up more mustard seed to add into it. Get a little bit more out of there. But if you use the ground mustard seeds in it, it's going to take longer for the flavor to become. I'm going to put you on hold here what time I ready. Hey, I have got the vinegar out. This could also be a really good like mustard sauce to it. All the others are right about at an inch. And I am going to debubble it. What do I do with my debubbler? I just had it literally. There it is. Okay. This will thicken up also as it cooks inside the canner. And I'm going to add some more water to my canner. I'm like right at the top of it here. Let me just mix that up. Bubbles are not going to really hurt it. The air will get expelled. That's on the top, I should say, like the foam type. But you do want to go ahead and debubble it. Let me find my paper towel here. And I like to use a paper towel. I just use like a half a sheet, if that. And these are the smaller size sheets. They aren't the big full size sheets. And you want to be sure and get everything off of it, because even if you get a partial seed or anything on it, really, it's not going to seal right. And I can use this to, if I let it dry out, to start fires with. I have a fireplace and a fire pit, so it would not go to waste. That is for sure. Side right there, a little bit more here. And let me get out my lids here. These are the Denali lids. I've had 100% success rate with these. I really, really like them. And if you get over, I think it's $60, it is free shipping. So I've got no complaints about them whatsoever. And I am not affiliated with them. I am just a very happy customer. Actually, any products that I talk about, I'm not affiliated with anybody. So it is just that I like the products. So it's finger tight. Two of the biggest reasons, let me pour a little bit more water in there. This is my teapot, the hot water that I had for the lids. So it shouldn't take it too long to get back up to temp. But it's finger tight. Two of the biggest reasons for lids buckling is you want to look at the inside of the rings that go on. If there's any kind of rust, any kind of odd spots on it. You know, sometimes they get discolored, especially if you're doing meats, and that is okay. But if you find any kind of rough areas or anything like that, don't use it. And that is the biggest reason for the lids to buckle. And over tightening is another reason why they buckle. And I hadn't planned on doing 6. I'm gonna go grab another ring here. But this will be more than enough mustard for, it's not gonna work. Okay. So I have got the rings on finger tight. No tighter than that, people. This here, and let me get the lid on it. And for steam bath canning, this is a Harvest canner. It is for water bath canning, and for the steam canning, the lid has got a temperature gauge on it. With steam bath canning, you need to get up to at least 212 degrees. On this one, for me, I really did lose some, whoops, wrong way, pressure on that. For me, the darker green is where I need to be at. You will see steam coming out the vents. You cannot steam bath in your regular water bath canner if it does not have these holes, because it does have to vent, because that allows the steam to rise up and circulate. So those are the pointers that I know of. I know that more and more people are going to this because it saves on water, it saves on time. You don't have to wait for that whole bunch of water to heat up in it. So we'll see how it does with the mustard. First time using it, canning the mustard. I will bring you guys back after I get through. I'm going to process the half pints for 15 minutes. If you do the 4-ounce ones, it is, I believe, 10 minutes. I'm going to add on another 5 minutes for the 8-ounce. And I think pints is like 25 minutes. The full pint size is. So see you guys in a little bit. One thing I didn't show you guys is dump the rest of your vinegar water in, because that will keep the hard water from building up on the jars. It also keeps the canner nice and shiny clean. Okay, so my timer went off. I took the lid off, let it set for 5 minutes to let it acclimate back to the atmosphere, get the atmospheric pressure right. So I'm going to go ahead and take them out. And if you remember me saying that I was going to leave that 1-inch headspace, look how high up that came on that. I was having an issue with lids coming off of it. Jars weren't breaking, it was just the rings and the inserts that were coming off on it. I had read some that said do it a half. I did a quarter to begin with. 2 of the out of 4 they blew off. So I was reading where some were doing a half of a headspace, half an inch. Did that. I had the same thing happen, 2 of them again that came off. So I left a 1-inch headspace this time, and look at that, it is up to the top, and it looks like, to be honest with you, it looks like, I don't think that one has sealed yet, but it looks like the others have sealed already. The little dimple is down on the center of it. So I'm going to let this set for 24 hours. This is one that I added the extra apple cider to. So whenever my 12 to 24 hours is up, I will try and just gently invert that and see if I can get it to mix a little bit better. If not, it's no big deal. I will do it whenever I open the jar up. Now these need to set 2 to 4 weeks. It is really strong right now as far as being like a spicy hot. It does get more mellow with time, and you need to wait at least 2 weeks. If you like it spicier, open one up at 2 weeks and see. If you like it more mellow, wait the 2 weeks or the 4 weeks before you open them up. Steam baths seem to work out really well for these. This is actually a great idea. It does take the place of water bath canning that has been certified, and I will try and find the link and put it down in the description where it has been approved for steam bath to be done for anything that can be water bath canned. It uses less water, so if you live in a drought area, this is going to be a great idea. Or if you just want to conserve water, or you're like me and you're having back issues right now, this is a much easier, lighter weight to carry. I will keep you guys updated on how this tastes in a future video. And I just hope you all have a great day, that you keep canning, keep, stocking up, do what you can afford. Don't go into debt over it, because, bills are still going to have to be paid. Every little bit that you do will help, even if it's just something that you learned. It doesn't even have to be anything that you bought. So you guys take care, and I will catch you in the next video.